Oh, have I got something special for you today? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's get this one out of the way. Woo! That's right. We're doing a Crown Vic. Choo! All right, so let me give you a little bit of a backstory on what's happening here. So I've done this series of cars which I know and like and would use, etc., etc. But I thought I would do one that's an IRL Crown Vic. And for this one, because I don't know it, I wanted to leave out all my preconceptions. So I enlisted the help of somebody else. So I'd like to thank TheCryStick, Ben. In brackets, I don't know why that is, but anyway, thank you very much for supplying me with this absolutely brilliant replica. And he got like partway through it, and then I said, wait, hold on, I want the police spec. So like, this is the sort of car that anybody can kind of go around and pick up, a police spec X Crown Vic in America, which is really silly and fun idea that I came up with all on my own. I have ideas, I swear. And then he got most of the way through it, showed me the interior and went, hold on, are they meant to be column shifts? So I'm sorry for putting you through so much, but thank you very much for getting this done. And you may not be able to tell it here, but he's like gone and he's relayed over new door skins so then he could have the multicolor like that. Really well done, really good job. And I just wanted to keep out all of my preconceptions of what a Ford Crown Vic is. I've never driven this thing before. And now we're about to give this thing a good hot go. Well, actually, first of all, we're going to see what suspension we got in here. So we have a rear spring. Is that a ladder chassis? Probably is. Yeah, that looks like a ladder chassis, which is something I at least know from watching an episode of Motor Trend thingy-mabobbies. Anyway, so they've got the extra 20 horsepower version tuned V8. Wait, hold on. He's gone with that sort of intake manifold, a racing intake? Okay, or maybe something, once again, just didn't draw in. We know how glitchy the automation to BeamNG kind of jankiness is. So, let's just give this one a bit of a drive. Oh my god. It is so sluggish. Now, they have matched the gear ratios, the final drive as well as possible, and they've got the power curve right apparently, the weight is correct, the power distribution is meant to be correct. So we have actually ended up with a very balanced car, and also apparently the tires as well. So this is, oh my god, such a slush bucket. It's so wallowy, but I love it because it's also controllable at the same time as it's being wallowy. Okay, yep. Oh, wow. It's actually really controllable. Sure, it's slow as fuck, but at least it's not completely uncontrollable like that. Oh. Well, anyway, I think we've had enough of the stock version of this car. Oh dear God, we're gonna have to do a lot before we take this up for an episode of Friday Party. But first, we should get out of here. This is, yeah, that's a problem. So we're gonna completely tear into this vehicle and go absolutely bonkers. No, we're not gonna do a whole lot to the engine. We are just gonna do a bit of an overhaul to it. So it's gonna stay as a 4.6 liter as the original was, cast iron, all that sort of stuff. But we're gonna do a few things like maybe put in some performance cams or just go with a cam grind. Now, if you don't know what a cam grind is, let me just break down this engine for you. As you can see here, the cams go around at a very flat radius and then it has the peak, obviously. But if you grind off the non-lobed area, then you can shim this to be closed more, which means that when this lobe comes around, it'll actually lift it higher. Fancy stuff. Now, do we go with a turbo on this thing? Yeah, we probably should. So maybe we'll leave the cam grind for now. We'll just go with a very small turbocharger, a really cheap eBay turbo. So it's gonna stay at a journal bearing. What sort of power are we looking at, by the way, before we put the turbo on? 186 kilowatts. You know what? That's actually less power than my Barra, but maybe more torque, I don't know. Starts at 374. So yeah, this is on par with the Ford Barra engine. Now, that's embarrassing. So we are going to want a turbo on here. So the advantage of a turbocharger is the fact that the turbos are spinning independently of pretty much everything, just the amount of exhaust gases coming out. So that means that no matter the altitude or pressure difference, this thing is going to just be generating pressure at whatever pressure comes out of the exhaust, which is dictated by how much pressure goes into the intake as well as like the combustion itself. So you may end up with just a little bit of extra turbo lag as you go to higher areas, but the maximum boost is dictated by, well, your wastegate. So the wastegate will start bleeding off pressure really early on. We're going to drop the compression ratio, which you can do with an extra thick gasket. Then we're going to pump in probably a buttload more fuel with an aftermarket fuel system, and then down the ignition timing a bit. I don't understand what's happening. Nothing's doing anything. Oh, nope, there we go. Wait, it just took a really long time to update. Okay, then. Let's get a big bastard of an intercooler on there. And then we're going to up the pressure here by matching a correct turbo here. And then, yeah, I think we're going to go with a bit of a grounded camshaft. And now, the standard internals apparently can take up to 5,700 RPM, so we do want extra RPM. That is really super helpful. Oh, the quality of the head is down. Maybe we'll do a little bit of like increasing the quality here to like a standard type system, so then you can have no valve float. So that would be like better springs and whatnot. But then we have a problem of like the power band just maxing out. Now, do we go up to a 3-inch exhaust? Yes, we do. This is pretty impressive. And then a straight through exhaust system. So now we're creating about 100 more kilowatts, which is what, 130 horsepower? And then we're going to tune this for as much fuel as it'll take before it starts not like me anymore. Maybe we'll down the cam grind. Now we've got probably way too much power and we're really limited with RPM. So we're going to leave it as is because we're not going to put in better internals. That's just way too much effort. Wait, why are they heavy duty cast? What? What happens if we just go to regular cast? That is so weird. Well, that's an option. Now let's increase that RPM. Much better. And we should be able to race just a little bit easier with that. Now, time for us to go absolutely bonkers on this thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rip out that interior that they spent so much time making. Now, let me just show you how much effort they went into this interior. Like, they've got door pockets. They've got door handles in here. They've got a dash here. Oh God, why is it also zoomed in? They've got a badge here. They've got all of these dials, all of this stuff. They've got a floppy disk in there. And they've, once again, I'll mention that they've done a column shifter, though they haven't put an indicator stalk on this. Oh, God. They put pedals in. And once again, even better door panels and interior stuff. But that's just not what we're going for today. So we're going to start off and just start removing things. So, seats. All of the seats can go bye-bye. And then rip out the door cards for that extra weight difference. Because that matters, apparently. One thing you can do is you can actually take out your door cards and then just put in some sort of extra different material. So let's go ahead and keep deleting things that we don't need. So we don't need this down here either. Let's change this to like just a matte material that you might replace it with. Oh, actually, you know what? It'll probably get replaced with some sort of aluminium. So the reason why you may want to put something in here is to make sure that you don't get scratched by like shitty metal parts, which is something I've done previously on my drift track cars. So we're going to undo all of his fantastic effort. Now, we'll probably need the dash in there because that's too difficult to remove. We don't need this, so we can remove that and it'll just look really janky and shitty. And we'll pull this up and make it look as if we've replaced it with just nothing. Like we've taken the carpet out and now it's just blank. Oh, we can rip out a little bit of the dash there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's rip out as much as possible here for weight reduction. We have removed as much as we could. It almost seems a shame to do such horrible things to this guy's work. But it's all in the name of what we're trying to achieve. Oh my God, this is all sectionalized? Far out. And then we are going to keep the column shifter because we can go berserkers in stupid ways, but not like super high budget ways. So it's going to stay a column shifter because I'm just an idiot. Now, do we replace the seat? No, I think that we might like have a reason as to why we might stick with that. Now, the one thing that we are going to go absolutely bonkers on is setting up aero. So aero is going to be absolutely ballistic in this car. And I just want to go crazy. I really, really do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put on like a big, massive front splitter, right? Yeah. I mean, what else would you do? Now, do we go with a square one or do we go with a rounded one? Oh, this car is going to be stupid and I love it. Nice. Okay. So you got the air curtain kind of dealio coming around there a little bit. And now to do the rear end. So I wonder if we can paint just the rear bumper. No, we can only paint the front bumper. Well, that's sucky and annoying. Let's go ahead and put on the biggest rear diffuser we can put on. Now, the question is, do we go with something that's like complicated like this one? Or do we go with a simple one, which would actually probably be what I would do anyway. So we're going to put on this big one here, and then we're just going to cut out the bodywork in a second. It seems that we have a problem. So we're gonna have to 3D place this one. But now we have issues with like these really long walls here. All right, so maybe we'll just put in this rear diffuser and then we'll fake the rest of it. Much better, make this thing stick out heaps far. That's how it works, right? Now, should we have the exhaust coming right out of the hood? No, you know what, actually, we're gonna take these exhausts, we're gonna delete them, and we're gonna make them come out the side here. Much better. Now, let's cut away the back end here. And now we're gonna put on our really mahoosive rear wing. And do we go with like a real cheapo, kind of nasty looking thing? Or do we go like a proper gooseneck? I get the feeling goosenecks are still like quite expensive because they're still not really known very well. And this one's gonna be really big because we need lots of rear downforce. This thing looks crazy. All right, let's do something about some cleaning up the air going around the side of the vehicle. There we go. Hopefully that'll keep the air flowing the right way. I'm liking how this is turning out so far. This is really, really nice. Now, it's time to cut out a large chunk in the front bumper here to fit in our brand new intercooler that won't interfere with our existing cooling system up here. But we're going to cut right down the center of this thing that was already existing here. And we're going to go like that, right about there, make it invisible, put it on top level. Now, let's grab our intercooler. Ah, yes, that's the way we like to see it, except it's being cut. It's fine, we'll just put it onto the top level. Cardinal lock on. All right, maybe we'll have to cut out the bumper just a little bit more. Easy. All you have to do is get the saws all out and just cut away. Nice. There we go. I am happy with our intercooler sticking way out the front there. That's exactly how it would look, right? Except, is it really big enough? Probably is big enough. Like, we did just go like cheap, the biggest, easiest one we could find. Now, cutting away this rear bumper. I think that's something we're about to do. Okay, so we've cut that out, and maybe I want to go a little bit of a flare here. Let's see what we can do about that. It hasn't turned out great, but I suppose it'll have to do. Let's see how wide we can make our wheels. So currently we're running on 16s. I think we can run bigger, so then we can get bigger brakes in there, run up to a 19, and then make those rear tires extra thick and chunky. Now, how low can we go? We could probably fit some sort of sport suspension in here and then dump it on its butt. Unfortunately, there seems to be a little bit of a discrepancy. So we're gonna go with alloy wheels because I can't make the front wheels that big, which is not particularly great. Let's go pick out our racing wheels for now. Something really cheap. So these would probably be cheap and they'd probably be just a regular paint color, but I don't know. Matte black does look good. So maybe we'll just go with the matte black then on these wheels. Now that we're gonna have a flat bottom on there, we don't have that yet. We're gonna put in some hood vents because you need to ventilate the air somewhere. And those would be done almost as aerodynamic. So we're gonna stick in our little doodad in there. So where exactly does the engine sit? Okay, good. So we're not going to interfere with the engine if we put this in here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, a little bit wider to fit in the entire area of where the radiator would be. Much better. Okay, I think that works. Probably still want a little bit more ventilation up around the back for where the turbos are to expel a whole bunch of heat. So just go with the generic little ones that you can get off of eBay. So, are we happy with what we've done so far? I get the feeling there's more we could do. Probably cut away around here. I should probably fiddle with the front end a little bit more now that I've realized that I could make this look a lot better. There we go. Now it's all enclosed. We've got ourselves a little bit of a thing on here. Is that how we want this to be? Yeah, I think it is. Then we're going to grab this and we're going to mirror it the other direction. Now, do we want to stick with the automatic? I think we do, which is stupid, but sure, why not? We could probably get some sort of LSD stuck in here, but that wouldn't be too particularly hard to come by, so we'll just stick in a geared LSD, because there's sports models of this, I'm assuming, that had it. Let's hope that it's a universal differential, which is why they used it, because that would make it cheap. Can we add more power now that we are realizing our limitation? Probably go with a higher mixture of fuel. That would probably go down well. Like an E85 would probably be easy to come by. You know, one thing I didn't check, brakes. So we got solid disc. We might be able to find a vented disc option, which wouldn't be out there. And because we've gone bigger wheels, and fit on bigger things. Now, getting brakes to fit is also not particularly impossible. Then a better brake pad type is also quite easy to find. And shift that brake bias around a little bit. Do we have ABS? Please tell me. Yes, we do. Thank God. Now, we're going to strip out a lot of the safety as well. The only thing really left to do is putting in a roll cage. Oh yeah, obviously we're meant to strip that down, and we'll leave it as a basic interior. We're going to strip out the entertainment and leave that as it is. I just remember that whilst looking at this image and being like, I've not done something, haven't I? So yeah, let's keep working with this. We're going to try to go for something basic like this. So we're going to have the front pillars around the front and then these pillars around the rear. Let's hope that that's good enough. Now, the reason why the bar has to go around at this particularly weird height is because the seatbelt anchor needs to be above where your shoulders are. Otherwise, if it's lower and you get into an accident and you're pulling yourself forwards, it's going to start pushing down on your shoulders and causing weird compression. So it needs to be anchored above the shoulder height, so then when you start going forwards, it'll stay a lot more even. Are we done doing just like the cheap, nasty buggery of a vehicle? I think we might be. This is a very cheap and nasty car, but I also really love it. And I also really do appreciate, once again, the effort that's gone into this thing. I wonder, you can't really see into the boot from the outside, but did he line the boot? This would be stupid if he did. Oh, and he didn't. Oh, points off. I know that I just said what I just said, but you get the idea. I just want perfection from everybody. A boot lining that I probably would never ever check. I mean, why wouldn't you put that in? Let's go take this. Oh, wait, hold on. No, we have to put the under tray in first. I was about to say we should go over now, but an under tray is very necessary. Now, there's a double meaning to the name. PP, that's Pikes Peak, but it's also for the fact that this used to be a vehicle for the Popo. So here we are in the void, about to give this thing its first proper test. So we're going to start off with an acceleration test now that we've got a much more powerful engine. It's still really boggy off the line, which is unfortunate. How's turning? Turning still feels quite sprightly, though it doesn't change direction particularly as I would like, is probably the word I would use. But you know what? Not the worst thing in the world. It does like to oversteer a bit. I wonder what our hitbox is like now. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Also, our suspension is really sloppy. At least the rear diffuser isn't causing issues like it normally does. I think the rear wing is fine. We're just going to go in and we're going to edit this front wing to be just a little bit higher. There we go. We've lifted up the front. Now to put in our edits for the rear. And that brings us back to this old mod. I'm starting to get a little bit tired of having to do this all the time. And we're not going to do that to the bottom one because that one's probably not adjustable. This one would be. And that one would be kind of. Save that. Come back in here. Wait for it to finish doing its thing. And Control R. All right, let's double check. Tuning. Front wing, we're gonna make that absolutely drastic. Yes, and rear wing, we're gonna make that absolutely drastic. Oh, I see what I've done there. I've actually added it to the forward, not the height. Oh, I'm a derp. There we go. Fix that up. And choo! It's all the way up there. I hate myself for doing choo, but for some reason, it just seems fun. So sue me. All right, so downforce. Okay, no extra on the rear and doubling on the front of what we put on there. And at higher speeds, we are getting a little bit more turn in now, which is helpful. Let's try at our lower speeds at about 80. Good, we're getting not much oversteer. I think I should be able to control that. Nice. Good. Yeah, this has come out pretty nice. If I do so myself, this is maybe one of my better conversion of real life vehicles. And I may do a few more of these conversions in the future as well if you guys like this one enough. Because so far, I love this. Let's go take this over to Pikes Peak now and try that out. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to see what a cheap extra 20 horsepower Crown Vic can do going up this road. So we're just going to take off here. It's still super slow. Not nearly what you would want out of a car, but I suppose when it gets up there, this thing isn't particularly bad. You know what? No, it is actually really bad. God, I feel that maybe my Ute would be faster than this thing in a straight line, which is really surprising. This is like not only just more cylinders, which doesn't really actually do a whole lot, just allows you to get higher RPM, but it's also a bigger engine. This is, I believe, a 4.6 liter, whereas the one that I've got in my car is a Barra, which is only a 4 liter, which even came up as big as a 4.2 liter in the 70s. Oh, that one wheel peel, that's crazy. Well, at least it can scrub off a bunch of speed and then make it through those corners quite nicely if I do overshoot. So at least I'll be able to do this all in one shot. Handbrakey. Okay, well, actually, I didn't do the corner setup right. Oh, all that power going down to one wheel. Love it. Hairpin, lots of wheel spin. God, okay, well, maybe we'll just fast forward all the way to the end. How does it do sneaky corner number 1? Wow, easy, because it wasn't going fast enough. And here we are coming up to the finish line in a not very good time, if I'm honest. That is pretty abysmal. Oh, oops, oh, okay. Well, yeah, this is by far and away the slowest car I've ever had up here. But let's go do the big boy now. Okay. Let's give this big boy a try, shall we? And we have no control over the gearbox, so it's just gonna be just in drive. Did I just do that in my first attempt? Wow. All right. Is this not the slowest car? Yeah, I don't think it is. Sure, it puts it in third to last, but at least it's not the slowest car. But I am surprised that the super lightweight car, the Minster Crackhead, was able to beat it. I wonder if I can beat the Minster Crackhead's time. I did notice there was some sections there where I could have gained some extra, so let's see what we can do here. One thing I'm noticing though is our rear differential is certainly not able to handle this amount of power. But we're about to see, just like truly, how much faster we've made this car compared to its standard counterpart. Oh shit! Well, it seems I'm already pushing too hard. I doubt actually this would have been an advanced automatic. I thought this would have been a complete slushbox automatic. But I suppose them's the brakes. I don't know this car. The person that did it would have known a lot more than what I do. So literally on my third attempt, I was able to make it up here. And that has to do with the fact that this car's biggest weakness is my biggest saving grace, which is its lack of high speed. Though still you're getting a little skittish around corners, this car is quite good. And I do go into a lot of these problem-solving things in the long race, because I do that, because this car is still actually quite fun, even if your speeds are very limited. But you can see here that my braking points are much later because this car is so slow. And also I did get around to finally using the manual part of this vehicle, though it still does feel incredibly slushy. Now coming up here to what I like to think of turn 3, I have to go quite slow because, I mean, you look there, you think you could have gone a little bit faster, but the tail end does just come around at that about 100 to 120 kilometer an hour speed. But when you get a little bit faster than that, the thing becomes a little bit easier to control, and then maybe even gets a little bit of understeer. But here you can see it's struggling a little bit, trying to push its way up here. Not a huge amount of power, and I'm lucky that I made the decision to make those turbos not particularly peaky, overpowered turbos. Otherwise this car would be just completely unusable, as opposed to what it is currently, which is very unusable. But yeah, generally, all in all, this car is quite easy to get around the track. Now, there is going to be a link to this car in the description. That link, though, is going to be to a future little bit of a tweak that I made. If you want to have this exact vehicle's experience, just go in and find the final drive gear ratio and bring that down a whole unit of 1. So I think it was like 3 point something, and I changed it like a 4 point something, which made the car incredibly fast. But that was just pointing out how slow this car is with this really, really shitty differential. But I still love it. Like, it's slow, but just look at this slow. It turns in, it does well. Accelerating out, you feather a little bit, but you're making it out of there quite fine. And here we're coming up to a very sneaky corner number 2, and the car just does it. There's no argument there, it just goes around the corner, which is a lot more than what could be said for a lot of different cars. Now here I brake a little too early, yes, and we go around here a little bit slower than what we should, but the exit's fairly decent, and we're coming up to the final hairpin now, and our time is only just a little bit better by the looks of it. I think by the end of this, it only ends up being about 2 seconds or so more. I'll talk about that in a second, but right now, this is the voiceover, and I've forgotten because I recorded this hours ago, and then I had to do the long calls after it. But here we go. Damn it! I wasn't able to beat it. Frick! Maybe if I try it again. We are like 3 seconds off, so I don't know. It's probably possible, but I really want to take this onto the long track now. So let's do the, yeah, let's just do the long. That's probably going to take a couple of tries anyway. All right, let's do this. Oh dear God, this is slow. Oh shit. All right, well, long corners are not its friend. Maybe more downforce? Yeah, let's give that one a try. Okay, this is actually working pretty well. All right, you know what? We need more front downforce. Let's try 0.4. How's this thing so slow with so much power? What is happening? God damn. Oh, come on. I get the feeling that maybe we could do with a lot more front downforce. So let's try putting an extra 0.2 on there. Okay, this can only go bad, right? Wow, it actually turns in now and holds speed in corners. How is its top speed limited to 140? What is this? That was close. Okay. No! We can make it. We can make it back up there. We can, I believe. No! I made it so far. Oh no! I might actually change my final drive ratio whilst I'm here. Sticking in a new center diff is not actually a particularly rare or hard thing to do. There's got to be a version out there that is a smaller diff, so maybe from like a V6 or something. It can't be that hard. So our gear ratio is 3.45. Let's just switch that up to like 4.45 and see if we can actually use fourth gear, which we have not actually used yet, which is really shitty. Oh, all right, let's try this again, shall we? I've already broken the top speed I'd ever made previously with this car, so yeah. That like major change in the gear ratio there was massive. Holy crap, we're going 170. Oh my God, we're going way too fast now. Oh, far out. All right, well, yeah, this is gonna take a little bit getting used to. Maybe some oh, you know what? I don't have the front aero set again like I did last time. So I think I had 0.01 and a 0.6 here. So hopefully that'll help. Okay, with his new center drive, hopefully the downforce is enough. We might be able to go a lot quicker up here because we were going so slow. Our top speed was about 142 on the longest of straights, and like on this initial very short straight, we're already beating that. So we're not gonna have like a ginormous top speed, but we're never going to reach that on this particular track. Oh, it's so good. So good. Oh, okay. Maybe we can even do it with more downforce now. Because, yeah, this is... Oh, a story of a girl. I'm joking. Oh my God, it's so much more oversteering. It's oversteering very easily in third gear now. This is crazy. Come on. Oh, way more speed than previously. A lot more speed. Jesus. It's amazing how much just a differential change for like what would be considered the worst is actually here. So goddamn amazing. All right, so here we're coming up to this little minor straight here, which previously our top speed we're already beating was 142, and we're going 160 now. God damn. Oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have gone 160. Oh, that was not great. Is that my front lip? Oh dear God. After all the tweaking was said and done though, this was actually really controllable. Only mistakes were made by me misjudging how much faster this car actually was. Whoops. Oh. Oh, that was close. I was trying to keep voiceover out of this, but I really want to go over how much better this car is with just a little bit of aero and that differential tweak. Oh, that almost went on me. That was crazy. You know, until I get to the parts that I don't know very well. Oh man, maybe I'm pushing a little too hard. Will I stop? No, I'm gonna keep pushing hard. Oh, nice. And we're across an 11:07, which is actually not a terrible time. In fact, I could already see instantly how many cars we're in front of, or at least done better times in. With an 11:07, we've beaten our Volvo, which is blasphemy. Oh, sorry. Oh, I mean Volvo. And we've also beat the Kangoo Pubit realistic cars, so we're getting better with our realistic cars. Oh dear, I think I might go back and just do a regular, absolutely ballistic all-out car next week and see if my driving skill is actually better, or it's just that I'm driving incredibly slower vehicles. But as I say goodbye, I'm gonna do a little bit of a downhill for you, which is not something I'll normally do, but you guys seem to want to ask for it a lot, and I generally won't do a downhill run because downhill runs are not done on Pikes Peak and on many race courses, because going downhill is really dangerous. So I've got like a really long braking point there, and like my braking distance was like 3 times as long just then. It's really very, very dangerous. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed so far the realistic cars type thing that I'm doing. I am enjoying it quite a bit, which is why, like, after doing the Kangoo Pubit, I was like, you know what? This is like really fun. Like, imagining myself actually doing this IRL is really fun, and I've been enjoying it. But for now, I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye. Oh, no! Okay, well, I was gonna keep going until I crashed, and apparently I just crashed the very next corner. Well, shit.